to actually install a gang switch panel for the 2024 Colorado. It's always good to have some extra lighting, especially out on the trails. It'll actually give me a chance also to have some fog lights because the Trail Boss didn't come with those. And also the one I'm going to be installing is wireless. So I bought it from eBay, but it came from Amazon. I'll explain that maybe later in the video. I recommend highly to buy it from Amazon, and I'll put the link in the description below. They have a 4 and also a 6 switch panel. I got the 6 one. Honestly, the 4 would be enough. It just depends on how many lights or how much accessories you're going to be running. I'll be doing the ditch lights today as well, on top of where the hood is, and hopefully the mounts I got do work well. We'll see, we'll test them. There was some debate or some things I read online about the 2023 and 2024 Colorado's changing the cowl a little bit, so there might be some rubbing, so we'll see if that's a problem. If so, there is another mount that would probably work better, but we're going to see if this one works okay. I'm going to try to do maybe a little step by step, but not the whole process. There are a couple of videos online about this, maybe not specific to the Colorado, but just in general of how to wire up a switch panel. I thought this was pretty neat being a wireless one, because you don't have to run any wires to the firewall ever again for any type of accessories. It's always a pain. I've always had bad experiences running wires through firewalls. It's actually I find it very difficult to find actually a grommet that actually works, and making sure that you don't have any type of leaking or cutting through the grommet and fishing the wires through. So having something wireless, and if it works good, you know, if it continues to work well, I think that's awesome. But let's get started. The first thing that we'll be installing, I'll show you this right here, is the panel itself actually. So this is what you got right here. And of course it has 6 panels. It has the 30 all the way down to the 10 amp. It has the accessory switch that actually allows the switch panel to turn on when you turn the vehicle on. The wires that will go directly to the battery. And then you have the locations to where you'll actually hook in your accessories. So we're going to install this first, and after we get this installed and make sure that it turns on okay, then we'll start actually installing the ditch lights next. It does come with some double-sided tape on the back, so most likely what I'll do is I'll mount it right here. There's not really a good mounting location, I'll be honest, in the Colorado's engine bay. I couldn't really find one that would be a great place. As you can see, it's kind of it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of space, but it's nowhere really that's flat. So yes, this is a location that you can take on and off, this little this area right here, but I don't really see myself really needing to get in here very much. So, and if I do, I can always disconnect it. That's not an issue. And again, it is wireless, and I think that this will be kind of central, so where you can run some wires to and things like that. But let's get this installed, then we'll do the lighting next. Alright, I've made some progress here. I've got the accessory wire, I've got the add a fuse, that's how I'm going to use this. I'm going to do an add a fuse, and I'm going to find a 15 amp fuse in the fuse box in the engine bay that comes on with accessory. Add a fuse is so much easier than trying to do anything else. It's pretty simple. I use some heat shrink, which I know it looks like I used some electrical tape, which I did. I used a heat shrink and I electrical taped it because I felt like having double will be better, since you know there's a good chance the truck will be getting damp with off-roading and whatnot. And the next thing will be connecting this, of course, the negative and the positive to the battery, and then mounting it, and that will be it for the box. That's pretty simple. I did cut this accessory wire. It was a little bit too long, so I did cut it, and before I added this in, I think it's still going to be a little bit too long, but we'll find a way to tuck it. First I'll connect it, then I'll kind of get the wires routed the way I want, and also the box mounted, since it's kind of, you know, I have quite a bit of excess wire. So next we'll go over here, disconnect the positive and negative on the battery, and find out exactly which fuse that we want to use. I'm gonna do a little bit of research. Again, it has to be an accessory on fuse, and I think it's somewhere over in this area. And if you have a Colorado, here's where your washer fluid fill is and the battery. And I think the accessory fuses are somewhere in this area. So I think it's either going to be this one or this one. One of these two fuses, or maybe this one. But I'm going to double check and see which one of these I can remove. It will be a 15 amp fuse from what I can gather. Again, it's just something to actually indicate to the box or the switch panel that the vehicle is on. That's all you really need this for. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. So I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I ended up getting the wrong TAPA fuse, so I actually had to go back and get the correct one. So for future reference, whenever you all do this, if you do for Colorado, they use, let's see here, they use a micro, let's see if I can zoom in, a micro 2 fuse. So make sure you get an add fuse for a micro 2 fuse. And I'm gonna correct myself, and I'm gonna actually use
I want to pause and just explain that I actually explained this incorrectly when I was doing this.
15 amp fuse.
It actually doesn't replace for 2 fuses.
So I'm gonna have to
You're
add
actually
2
supposed
5
to
amps.
put, as in this case, I replaced a 10 amp fuse. So you are supposed to put a 10 amp fuse in one slot, and also a 10 amp fuse in the other slot as well. So I did end up going back and replacing both of those and putting two 10 amp fuses in this location. So I'd misspoke in this section, so please ignore this. Make sure if you are replacing a 10 amp fuse or even a 15 amp fuse that you utilize a 15 amp fuse. In my case, I used 2 10 amp fuses in these 2 slots.
Replace here for 2 fuses, as you can see right here. If I can get the focus. So from what I can tell, I'm actually successful with hooking this up. It wasn't too bad. Now I just got to clean this up and make sure it's situated where I want it, and tape it down. But right here you got your power, of course, your power wire going to the battery, ground wire. I got to put this piece right here back on. I don't know if I'm gonna put it back. I got to put it back on somehow. Kind of want to have it in place since it is factory. It's pain once you take it off to put it back on. But let's see. Now I'll show you how you can tell that it works. I don't have any lights hooked up to it, but right here you push this little test button. I guess it's a test button. I think it's actually to set up the Bluetooth, but anyways, I wanted to see if I had power before I continued. And right there you can see the green light. It comes on. So that's good. That's a good indication. And I'm going to continue on now, cleaning this up and then getting the ditch lights ready. Before I continue, I wanted to show you I have the key off on the vehicle, and now I can hit the test button and it does not work. So that means you have the white wire hooked to the right accessory fuse. And I want to share with you again, if you're using this on a Colorado, I don't know if you can tell right here, that's where I put the add fuse. Still kind of hard to see, but anyways, it ended up being on the fuse cover. Let me look here. F52, which was the side markers, which is a 10 amp fuse. So just look for F52, okay? Now this is a 13 millimeter. The hood is right here. So we'll go ahead and start trying by loosening it. The top one first, that's how I did in the last one, and get the other one in place. They're not really that tight, which you'll hear a little bit of a crack. I think that's the paint. I don't know if they painted over the truck while the bolts were on. I guess they did, I'm assuming. So I'm assuming that's the noise you hear. But it will come loose and nothing breaks, that I can tell anyways. So the good thing with these brackets is you don't have to take the bolts completely out or the nuts completely off to put them in place. But they are pretty thick, so you do have to kind of get them down pretty far. Hope this one goes as easy as the last one. We shall see. You want it just enough to where you can get it fit, and that's it. And once you get one in place, tighten that one back up just enough, but you want to leave this one out so you can loosen the back one up, or the front one up, or back one, however you want to look at it. Okay, that one's good. Let's go ahead and loosen the back one. Okay, you will have to loosen the front one back up just again a little bit, but I'd hold the hood just to make sure that there's no movement, and doesn't seem like there is, luckily. So you can scoot this one over now, and then hand tighten them just pretty quickly there. Then tighten them back up into place. And that should be it. I wouldn't go super tight on these because it is an aluminum hood. You do want it secure and snug. There you go. All right. So let's make sure that this closes good. Give me a second, I'll be back. I'm gonna test it and I'll show you if it does. And if it doesn't, I'll show you too, but I do want to close it without the camera there. All right, guys,
so another full disclosure moment. As you can see here, after looking back at it, it did put some stress on the cow.
It doesn't seem like
it
it's
did
put too much
separate the
stress
cow
on the
from the
cow.
actual, well, part of the cow from the other part of the cow, as you can see here. I tried to put it back together. The tabs did happen to break. So this part, it was cheap. It was $25. I would say the fitment in terms of clearance of the hood was very, very good. They actually ended up looking very good on the truck. But be aware that there will be probably some separation of the cow at this one section. I might go back and replace these with another part. We may try that, and I might replace these cowls or these parts of the cow later on. Right now I know that there's a shortage, I think, from Chevy or GM on this part. We shall see. I'll just see. Right now I don't think there's any functionality problems with it being like this. You really can't see it from any other direction except for at this, where I'm at right at this very point. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of give you that I did notice this after the fact. So let's carry on.
I don't think it's touching. If it is touching, it's touching maybe just a hair, but it did not crack it or anything like that. So it seems like these are going to work okay. It's not lifting up the hood, nothing like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the driver's side. I think the driver's side is the one side that maybe people are having some trouble with. We shall see. I'll walk you through that side. I didn't on this side because I was trying to loosen the hood, and I didn't know if there was a chance it would move or shift or anything like that. But I think I got a good system down now that I can show you and feel comfortable enough in showing you how to do it. But the passenger side is on. After we get the driver's side bracket on, we'll go ahead and get the lights wired up, or get the wires, the harness fixed for the lights, and the lights wired and ready to go on the brackets. It was perfectly, actually, guys. Didn't have a problem at all. So it has plenty of clearance. These are the actual Rhino mounts. These were they were used. They had a little bit of a blemish on the passenger side one. I think I got them for maybe $25. I think I saw some that actually were supposed to fit this model for right at $100. I shall say that this is not a bad deal for these, to be honest at all. And the good thing is, let me show you one more thing about them. They do have, for the wires, let me show you here. They have a place, if you can see it. My goodness. They have a place you can put your wires through. I think some of the other mounts do, the more expensive mounts. But we're gonna make use of that too as we go down and in through the hood of the truck. So we can actually hide the wires and make it a little bit cleaner. So let's go ahead and get the lights wired up. I did go with the Nilight or Nilight lights, so we'll see how those turn out. They're supposed to be bright enough. So I apologize, I left a little bit out. I don't like wiring too much, and it actually started raining. So I tried to make it as quick as possible. It really wasn't that quick, but I done the best I could. So I got it all wired up. I just had to clean it up just a little bit. They work. I'll show you what it looks like in the results,
I got this switch inside the truck and it's completely wireless, and I'll show you how that works here in just a quick second. But let me flip you around and show you right quick something. So this is what it looks like. This is the box. Okay, you have your ditch lights wired up right here in the 15 amp fuse location because that's what it required. I still have this fuse tap right here. I'm gonna adhere this so it'll actually stick right there and clean the wires up. Bolt this down, make sure this is on. I'll bring you over here. I got these kind of up loosely. I'm not gonna leave them like this, of course. I'll mount it or I'll fix it. I'll tighten it up and adjust them the way I like here in a second. I am not gonna leave the yellow on there. They're covers. Actually, I got a black cover too. The black cover is what I was looking for, honestly, because in Virginia, supposedly you're supposed to run a cover to make it legal. So I guess if I want to be legal, that's the way to go. But anyways, so they have yellow on there right now, but I'm gonna take those off. They're bright. They're bright, they work good. And I'll be honest with you, if you're doing any type of gang switch like this, it's the way to go. It's a lot better than, I'd say, going through your firewall. It made it a lot quicker than that way. And moving forward, you won't have to worry about running anything into the firewall. I do plan on actually putting some fog lights and make some fog lights for the Trail Boss that will go right here. Those are on Amazon, of course, but that's okay. And I'm like, run them into the gang panel switch or switch panel, and those will be nice. So, but let me get this kind of bolt buttoned up and I'll show you what the results are here in just a second. So as you can see, I got the ditch lights put on. They turned out pretty good. I'm actually really happy with them. So they seem pretty sturdy. Wasn't too bad to install. It took a little bit longer than anticipated, but I hate wiring. So let's head on inside and I'll show you kind of what or how to operate them or what the panel itself looks like. Okay. So here is the switch panel. It is battery operated, but it is wireless. It does charge with USB-C. So if it dies, you can just take it off and charge it. And the good thing is this thing, I don't know how to reach on it, but you don't have to necessarily have it in the truck to work it. But anyways, I'll put it right there. Let's go ahead and try this out. And I put it on this switch right here. I got some stickers. I'm gonna label it here shortly. So let's go out here and look at them right quick. So here they are. They're pretty bright. I'm sure at night they'll be a lot brighter. We shall see. But they do look pretty good. Came with the yellow covers, like I said. I showed you that a minute ago. Came with the black covers. But I think they turned out pretty nice. Let me get the panel actually out of the truck and show you that it's wireless, or that it does turn on and off. And I think that it has decent reach. Again, this makes it so simple. You don't have to have anything through the firewall to install the panel or anything moving forward. So here you go, and I do believe, let's see if I have it, I have to turn it on. My bad. Okay. Well, maybe the reach isn't that good. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So, okay, that shows the reach is not that great. You have to be pretty close to it. There is an extension kit with it, or something that you can actually extend it, which is nice. But let's see here. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this. I haven't figured it out just yet. So I must have put it on this switch maybe. We will figure it out. But anyways, they do work. It does work. I just got to figure it out and kind of, maybe there's a program for it. I haven't read about it. But before I ended, I wanted to show you, I put the actual, I labeled it there. So, I mean, it is at that third button. There must be a trick to it. Let's see. There you go. Okay. So you must have to, okay, it is that third button. They work. But if you click it more than twice or something, there must be some type of function. Again, I'll figure that out. But I must say the product does work pretty good. I'm content with it. I think it'll be good going forward. Hopefully it's reliable, you know, because I do plan on adding a couple more things to it. I got, you know, five more things I could add if I wanted to. I do plan on doing the fogs. I might do an outlet in the back, but I don't know necessarily if I need this or not. I might just make it on the accessory switch itself, but we'll just see. But this is just going to be handy. So until next time, hopefully eventually we'll do the lift on the vehicle. I don't know if you'll see this video first or the actual video of another mod I've done recently. And on that, I'll talk a little bit more, or well, I'll just go ahead and mention it. I have had recently a check engine light on the Colorado. I'm not sure what really caused the check engine light, to be completely honest. It says something about a P0641 and it's some type of electrical issue, which I mean, kind of funny that I'm installing these right now. But I think that might be cleared up. We're just gonna come watch it and see. But until next time, thank you guys for watching.